Today, we revisit Open All Hours, the classic British sitcom that filled our screens with warmth, humor, and unforgettable moments. Over the years, some of the talented actresses who helped bring this world to life have sadly passed away, leaving behind memories and performances that continue to touch fans' hearts. At the same time, many of the remarkable actresses from the show are still with us, carrying their spirit forward and reminding us of the joy they brought to television. Whether they appeared in just one memorable episode or played a familiar face across the series, each one left a spark that remains with viewers long after the screen faded to black. Lynda Barron, the beloved English television actress, passed away on March 5, 2022, at the age of 82, after a short illness that sadly ended her long and remarkable life. Her passing left colleagues and fans heartbroken, for she had been a constant presence on British television for decades. She will forever be remembered as Nurse Gladys Emanuel in Open All Hours, the strong yet tender woman who kept Ronnie Barker's Arkwright in check while offering warmth and guidance to David Jason's young Granville. Her chemistry with both men gave the series its heart, and when she returned years later in Still Open All Hours, she reminded audiences why the character had become so beloved. Beyond the shopfront, she enchanted children as Auntie Mabel in Come Outside, flying her polka-dotted plane with her loyal dog Pippin, gently teaching life's little wonders. She also left her mark in EastEnders as Linda Clark and appeared in everything from Doctor Who and Coronation Street to West End musicals, Fat Friends, and films such as Yentl and Scoop. Born Lillian Ridgway in Urmston, Lancashire, she discovered her love of performance in childhood through ballet before moving into singing and acting. Over more than 6 decades, she built a career filled with variety, respect, and admiration. In her personal life, she was married to jazz pianist John M. Lee, with whom she raised 2 children. And though she suffered the pain of his loss in 2001, she carried on with quiet strength. When news of her death was announced, tributes poured in from fellow actors, broadcasters, and fans across generations. They remembered not only a gifted actress, but also a kind, generous soul whose work continues to bring laughter, warmth, and comfort long after her passing. Kathy Staff, the beloved English television actress, passed away on December 13, 2008, at the age of 80, after a difficult battle with a brain tumor that had been diagnosed earlier that year. Her final days were spent at Willow Wood Hospice in Ashton-under-Lyne, surrounded by her family, and her loss was felt deeply across Britain, where she had been part of television life for decades. In Open All Hours, she played Mrs. Blewett, the outspoken, sharp-tongued customer whose dry wit and blunt remarks added color and authenticity to the shop scenes alongside Ronnie Barker and David Jason. While the role was small, it was memorable, and it reflected her gift for capturing the rhythms of everyday northern life. Her career, however, stretched far wider. She became a national icon as Nora Batty in Last of the Summer Wine, a formidable figure in curlers and wrinkled stockings who swatted away Compo's endless advances, but secretly gave the show its heart. For more than 30 years and over 200 episodes, she embodied that character so perfectly that she became inseparable from it in the minds of audiences. Beyond comedy, she brought warmth to dramas such as Crossroads and made appearances in Coronation Street, Emmerdale, The Benny Hill Show, and even religious programs like Songs of Praise. Born Minnie Higginbottom in Dinkinfield, Cheshire, she grew up in a modest, faith-driven household and began her working life in a factory before pursuing her love for performance through repertory theater. After marrying John Staff in 1951, she paused acting to raise their 2 daughters, later returning with a career that would make her one of Britain's most familiar faces. Off-screen, she was described as gentle, faithful, and kind-hearted, a far cry from the stern women she often played. When she died, tributes poured in from co-stars and fans, with many calling her irreplaceable. Kathy Staff's death was more than the loss of a fine actress. It was the end of an era in British comedy, though her legacy of laughter, warmth, and strength continues to live on. Elizabeth Dawn, the beloved English television actress who became a household name, passed away in September 2017 at the age of 87. Her passing was the result of emphysema, a cruel lung condition that had slowly weakened her for years. Those close to her spoke of the long battle she endured, nights when every breath felt like a burden, yet she faced it with quiet courage and dignity. In her final days, surrounded by love, she found peace, and her departure left behind an ache felt not only by her family, but by millions of viewers who had grown up watching her. On screen, she will forever be remembered as Vera Duckworth in Coronation Street, a role she played for more than 3 decades. With her sharp tongue, fiery arguments, and deep devotion to her on-screen husband Jack, she brought a mix of humor and heartbreak that made Vera feel like a real neighbor next door. And in Open All Hours, her appearances in Ronnie Barker's Little Corner Shop added another layer of warmth and wit, helping the show become the much-loved classic it remains today. Elizabeth Dawn had a gift for turning ordinary characters into unforgettable ones. She made audiences laugh, sigh, and at times even cry, because she played with truth. Born Sylvia Butterfield in Leeds, she grew up in a modest, working-class home, where life was simple but full of character. From her early years, she carried with her the spirit of the North, strong, witty, and kind, qualities that later shaped her acting. Before fame, she worked ordinary jobs, never imagining that one day she would be one of the most recognized faces on British television. Yet, when the chance came, she seized it, and her career became a story of determination, talent, and heart. Away from the spotlight, she was a devoted wife and mother, finding happiness in her family life as much as in her work. Janet Davis, the beloved English actress who became a familiar face on British television, passed away on September 22, 1986, at the age of 59, after a long and painful battle with breast cancer that sadly spread to her lungs. The illness weakened her over time, yet she faced it with quiet dignity, spending her final days in hospice before leaving this world peacefully. In Open All Hours, she appeared with her gentle presence that perfectly suited the series, fitting seamlessly into the cast of characters that revolved around Ronnie Barker's Arkwright and David Jason's Granville. Her talent for subtle comedy and natural warmth made even her smaller appearances memorable, just as she had done with her most famous role as Mrs. Pike in Dad's Army, where her protective love for her son and complicated closeness to Sergeant Wilson became a central charm of the show. Beyond these roles, she brought her versatility to classics such as Dixon of Dock Green, The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, All Creatures Great and Small, Last of the Summer Wine, See Cars, and Are You Being Served? Along with appearances in films like The Ghost Goes Gear and Interlude. Born in Wakefield, Yorkshire, in the autumn of 1927, Janet grew up in modest surroundings and first worked as a secretary, using her shorthand and typing skills to support herself before her path led to the stage. She married fellow actor Ian Gardner, and though her personal life remained private, she carried with her a warmth that those closest to her never forgot. Her death was a painful loss to the acting world, for she left too soon. But her work in Open All Hours and beyond ensured that her gentle humor and authenticity would live on in British comedy history. Jean Haywood, the beloved British television and stage actress who touched audiences for decades with her heartfelt performances, passed away on September 14, 2019, at the remarkable age of 98. Leaving behind a career that spanned generations and a life story filled with resilience and passion. Though her death came peacefully after a long life, it was still felt as a deep loss by fans who had grown up watching her, particularly in her memorable appearances in Open All Hours, where she brought her quiet authenticity to a series known for its warmth and humor, making even small roles shine with truth. Beyond this, she will forever be remembered for her moving portrayal of Bella Seton in When the Boat Comes In, where she embodied a strong yet tender matriarch holding her struggling family together, and for her deeply touching role as the grandmother in Billy Elliot, where her tender scenes showed both vulnerability and strength. Away from the screen, Jean's own story was one of hardship and perseverance. She was born in Blythe, Northumberland, in the summer of 1921, and at just 6 years old she moved with her family to New Zealand, only to lose her mother shortly after, a devastating event that shaped her childhood before returning to England. For many years she lived a quiet life, working and raising her children after marrying Roland Haywood in the 1940s, only deciding to pursue acting professionally once her family was grown. Starting on stage in small roles and eventually moving into television in the late 1960s, she quickly showed a gift for making characters feel real and relatable, becoming a familiar face in dramas, soaps, and comedies alike, from Emmerdale and Coronation Street to All Creatures Great and Small and Casualty. Her career blossomed late, but it carried her through 5 decades, proving that talent, once given the chance, always finds its place. Jean Haywood's passing marked not only the end of a remarkable life, but also the farewell to a woman whose characters reflected the struggles, joys, and humanity of everyday people. And she remains loved and remembered for the honesty she brought to every performance. Claire Kelly, the beloved English television actress, passed away in London in 2010, leaving behind a sense of quiet sorrow for those who had admired her presence on stage and screen. While her family chose to keep the exact cause of death private, her passing was marked as the end of a graceful and heartfelt career. To many, she is warmly remembered for her role in Open All Hours, where even in her brief appearances, she added a touch of natural charm that captured the spirit of ordinary life in the little corner shop setting. Working alongside legends like Ronnie Barker and David Jason, Claire's part may have been modest, but it helped enrich the warmth and humor that made the series timeless. Away from the camera, Claire's story began in California, where she was born into a comfortable family in 1934. Drawn to performing at an early age, she trained in acting before stepping into both British and Hollywood productions. She built a career across television and film, appearing in works such as The Eddie Duchin Story, The Unguarded Moment, and the cult classic Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Yet her life was not without heartache. Claire endured the devastating loss of her young son, an event that changed her forever and gave her life a quieter, more reflective depth. She married more than once, moving between America and England, but remained tied to her love of performing. In later years, she withdrew from the public eye, living more privately, but her work in Open All Hours and her earlier films continue to carry her legacy. Her death was not just the closing of a career, but the farewell to a woman whose grace and presence touched those who watched her. Barbara Keogh, the beloved British actress whose face and voice became a familiar comfort to audiences for nearly 5 decades, passed away suddenly on October 25, 2005, at the age of 76, from coronary artery disease. Her passing came as a shock to many, as she had been working and performing right up until her final days, filming for Little Britain only a week before, a testament to her enduring passion for acting and her refusal to slow down even as illness silently overtook her heart. To Open All Hours fans, Barbara remains remembered for her supporting role alongside Ronnie Barker, where she brought warmth and humanity into the little shop that was at the heart of the comedy, proving that even in smaller parts her charm could not be overlooked. Born on April 21, 1929, in Bucklow, Cheshire, Barbara's early life was touched by hardship with the loss of her mother while she was still young. Yet she pushed forward with determination, training at the Birmingham School of Speech and Drama and later at Lambda, where she refined her craft with a discipline that would carry her far. From early repertory theater, where she acted with John Osborne and Ronnie Barker, to becoming a household face in shows like Dixon of Dock Green, Z Cars, The Sweeney, Coronation Street, and eventually EastEnders as Lily Maddock, Barbara built a career filled with variety and resilience. On stage, she shone in productions at the Royal Court, Hampstead, and the National Theatre, standing alongside some of Britain's finest talents. Away from the spotlight, she loved traveling and carried with her a down-to-earth kindness that made her respected and cherished by colleagues. Her sudden death was not just the loss of a working actress, but the silencing of a life that had never stopped giving, whether through the laughter she brought in Open All Hours, the drama she carried in EastEnders, or the dedication she showed to her craft until her final breath. Juliet Cook, the talented English actress whose grace and strength lit up both stage and screen, tragically passed away in 1982 in Leeds at just 46 years old, a life and career cut painfully short before it could fully flourish. She left behind a body of work that proved her dedication to her craft, from powerful stage performances in Hamlet, King Lear, and Macbeth with the Old Vic, to screen appearances in Z Cars, An Age of Kings, and Coronation Street, where audiences remember her fiery turn as Muriel Fielding. For fans of Open All Hours, Juliet's presence brought depth and realism to the small shop world, where even in limited screen time her characters carried a quiet weight, showing her ability to enrich any scene she stepped into. Born Juliet Mary Cook on April 23, 1936, in Glossop, she showed early promise and trained for the stage with a passion that soon led her across Shakespearean classics, contemporary plays like Billy Liar, and even international tours that brought British theatre abroad. Beyond the stage, she embraced television and film with roles in Strictly for the Birds and It Shouldn't Happen to a Vet, proving her versatility as an actress. Yet, despite her remarkable range and devotion to her art, her sudden passing left a silence that was deeply felt by those who worked with her and by audiences who sensed her potential to shine even brighter in the years to come. Juliet Cook's memory lingers not only in the archives of British theatre and television, but in the affection of those who recall her work in Open All Hours and beyond, a reminder of a gifted actress gone far too soon, whose talent and warmth remain frozen in time on stage and screen. Stephanie Cole, the beloved English television actress who was born on October 5, 1941, is cherished for her sharp and witty performances in classics such as Waiting for God, and for her memorable role as Mrs. Delphine Featherstone in Open All Hours, a character that remains a fan favorite to this day. Over the years, her remarkable career has spanned stage, film, and television, earning her an OB and cementing her as one of Britain's most admired performers. Now in 2025, although largely retired, she continues to delight fans with occasional appearances, warm public messages, and her enduring presence in the hearts of audiences who grew up with her timeless work. Barbara Flynn, the distinguished English actress born on August 5, 1948, is admired for her versatility and grace across television, film, and stage, with standout roles in series such as A Family at War, Cranford, and her guest appearance in Open All Hours. Her long career has made her a familiar and respected presence on British screens, celebrated for both dramatic and comedic performances. In 2025, she remains active in select projects, continuing to be recognized as one of Britain's finest talents whose work has left an enduring impact on generations of viewers. Maggie Ollerenshaw, the English actress born on October 8, 1949, is warmly remembered for her delightful role as Mavis in Open All Hours and its sequel Still Open All Hours. As Mavis, she played the sweet-natured and gentle wife of Granville, bringing warmth, tenderness, and light comedy to the series, often balancing Arkwright's schemes with her own quiet charm. Throughout her career, she has also shown in productions such as Coronation Street, Last of the Summer Wine, and The House of Eliot, showcasing her versatility. In 2025, she continues to be celebrated as a cherished figure of British television, admired for the warmth and authenticity she brought to every role. Sandra Vo, the Scottish actress born on October 6, 1936, is admired for her long and varied career on stage and screen, with one of her fondly remembered appearances being in Open All Hours. In the sitcom, she took on a guest role that added to the colorful charm of Arkwright's world, showing her ability to blend naturally into everyday storytelling with humor and heart. Beyond that, she has appeared in acclaimed works such as Coronation Street, The Bill, Taggart, and films like Breaking the Waves and Under the Skin. And even in recent years, she continues to be respected as a seasoned actress whose quiet strength and presence have left a lasting mark on British entertainment.